HDMI ಹೋತ ಬಂತೆ ನೋಡಿ.
ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಅದ ಬಂದಿತ್ತು HDMI ಹೋತಂತೇಳಿ ಬಂತೆ ನೋಡಿ
ಸೌಂಡ
ನೀವು ಅಂತಿದ್ದು
ನಂಗೆ ಬರೋ ಸೌಂಡ್ ನಂದು ಬರಬಾರ್ದಿಲ್ಲ
ಬರತೈತಿ.
ಕಾರ್ಡ್ ಕನೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿಲ್ಲ ಕೇಳೋ
ಎಲ್ಲ ನಂದು ಬರತೈತಿ.
ಕ್ವಾಡ 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 ಅಡ್ಯೋ ಕ್ವಾಡ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕಿವಿ ಇಟ್ಕೋ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹೂ ಮರ ನಾವು ಮಾತಾಡಿದ್ದು ಬರೋದ್ರ
ಉದ್ದಿ ಸರ್ ಫೋನ್ ಸರ್
ಎತ್ತ
ಹಾಂ ಉದ್ದಿ ಸರ್ ಹೇಳ್ರಿ. ಅದಾರಿ ಕೊಡ್ಲಿ ಹಾಂ ಅದಾರಿ
ಏನಂತ ಒಂದು
ಚೆಕ್ ಮಾಡ್ರಿ ಬೇಡ ಅಂತ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಂತ ನೋಡ್ರಿ.
ಇಲ್ಲ
ಓಕೆ
ಇಲ್ಲ ಅದು ಚೆಕ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಔಟ್ಪುಟ್ ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ.
ಹಲೋ ಹಲೋ ಎಲ್ಲೈತು ಸೌಂಡ್ ಬರತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ಇದು
ನಿಂದ ಐತೆ ಈಗ.
ಹಲೋ
ಸೆಟ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ನೋಡಿ
ನನ್ನ ತಪ್ಪಿಲ್ಲ. ಏನು ಮುಟ್ಟಿಲ್ಲ ಇದನ್ನು.
ಇದ್ರದ್ದು ಆಡಿಯೋ ಸೆಟ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ನೋಡಿ ಏನ್ರಿ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಚೇಂಜ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ.
Good afternoon, everybody. We have with us Dr.
ಇಲ್ಲ ಅದೇ ತಪ್ಪೈತಿ.
ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬರತೈತೆ
today for presenting
ಮೈಕ್ ನೋಡ್ರಿ.
lecture on new education policy. I requested Dr. S. Shashidhar sir to come up on the dais. Good afternoon, everybody. We have with us Dr. today for presenting lecture on. I request Dr. Bidigirana sir to introduce chief guest to the audience and students.
Good afternoon. So on the eve of Dr. S.W. MENSINKAI Foundation Day lecture, we have another session, afternoon session. Here we have another eminent scientist of our own faculty, Dr. H. Shashidhar. He is from Shimoga and served as a professor as well as director of research at GKVK Bangalore. He completed BSc Agri during 1975, MSc 1980, PhD in 82, and genetics and plant breeding. And after the joining as an assistant professor, he has continuously associated himself with so many the projects like genetic engineering, Center for Continuing Education, Indian Institute of Science, Bangalore, then tissue culture, Shanghai Institute, Plant Physiology, postdoctoral fellowship, Texas at USA, then DNA marker facilitated QTL environment analysis in rice, that is Philippines, SNP detection and analysis of data, again at Philippines, designing plant at Erie, Philippines. Then intellectual property rights and biotechnology, that is National School University at Bangalore. So he has continuously done with the several of the research projects and guided several MSc and PhD students, contributed enormously to the scientific community by publishing wonderful research articles in the national and international journals. Totally, international journals, he has published 42 research articles, and books, book chapters, he has written 6 book chapters. And in addition to that, general and popular articles also he has published. And he's associated even now, after retirement, as a global ambassador, that is Abdul Kalam Educational Satellite Program, chairman of this Abdul Kalam Education Society from 2020 to 21. Then advisor, Agriculture Committee of Rotary 2021. Then CEO of Cultiva Agritech Private Limited, an agri startup. CEO of Intera Agri Ventures, that's again agri startup. To tell you briefly, he is a man of innovator, always continuously thinking on a new dimension, new aspects of the science, particularly in the genetics and plant breeding, biotechnology, genetic engineering. And after retirement also, now he's started several of these startups, and he's assisting the farmers particularly to solve the practical problems of the farmers. He is integrating digital, solar, then machinery, all this advanced technology he is integrating and finding the solution at a very low cost technology to the farmers, so that the farmers' cost can be reduced and overall his income can be increased. So I have given him a special title that he is a lifetime innovator. Dr. Shasidhar is a lifetime innovator. Even after retirement, he has not at all decreased the zeal and enthusiasm to research and innovate, never. And just look at his personality, he looks even less than 50 years or 45 years aged, though he is crossed the 65 years. That is how he is enthusiastic. The life itself depends upon how enthusiastic you are in each and every activities. If you are enthusiastic, you will look very lively. So that is the lesson we have to learn from him, and I am learning from him. With this brief introduction about our beloved teacher, faculty member, Dr. H.G. Shasidhar, I request now I request Dr. H.G. Shasidhar to continue with the lecture. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for the introduction. It was very kind of you to tell all the nice things. I told him to tell all that so that I'll feel happy. So it's, I'll see how much of that I can live up to by the end of this talk. This talk about the new education policy. Could you have better? Can you hear me? Yes. Okay. Lights. E lights off ಮಾಡ್ಬಿಟ್ರೆ with I start with wishing Dr. S.M. MENSINKAI a very happy birthday, and let's celebrate it even further with more vigor, and more credits goes to him. I'm sure he'll be feeling happy wherever he is, and he'll be watching over us how things are unfolding. Happy birthday, sir. You see, it's a lesson for all of us, especially the youngsters. If you live beyond your dreams and try to do good for the institution or the state or the country or the world, you will be remembered forever. So whatever you do in your life, don't just think you're doing it for yourself. Of course, you have to live, but plan for doing good for the institution, your city, your state, and your country, and the world. Of course, there's only one world, but we should do good for the world. So that's what I learned from these visionaries. All of us have eyes, but very few people have the vision to see beyond n number of years. The farther you are able to visualize, history will remember you that much more. So vision is more important than sight. There's a difference between the two. What you see and what you envision, what you foresee for the future. This NEP document is actually very revolutionary. It's a revolution that is happening. All of you should be very, very, very happy that you're going to be part of a revolution. 10 years from now, some of you are going to be deans, DRs, key officers of various kinds in various universities, or vice chancellors, or DGs, or FAO assignments, and all that. So you will tell your children and your grandchildren, I was part of this revolution when it started. Can you imagine that? Telling your grandchildren that I was part of it in this auditorium during 2022, February 1. So it's a revolution. You'll see how it unfolds. It's a paradigm shift. Everything will change from the way it is now, if it is implemented in toto and in letter and spirit. It will influence everyone in the university, not just the students. It will influence the key officers, it will influence the professors, assistant professors, everybody. It will influence the non-teaching staff as well. It will influence the shopkeeper who is next to the bus stand. The bank people it will influence. It will influence everybody. I'll show you how. Now, this university and many universities of agriculture in this country enjoy partial autonomy. It's like quasi. We are neither state-controlled nor central-controlled, but both control us. But we have our own board of directors, board of regents. So it is kind of independence, but a little bit of control. This can be converted to complete autonomy, like Indian Institute of Science. Indian Institute of Science is an institution which has its own management structure, its own recruitment policies for the key posts and other faculty. So you can have complete autonomy when this policy is implemented in toto. When it is implemented, I keep stressing that. Now, Board of Regents will be converted into Board of Governors. You'll have a series, a board that governing the whole institution. They will be appointing all the key officers and full autonomy. So, but legal control of the state and the country. So this is where it is going to be. I've shown you the future now, where this is going to lead us to. Within, I think there are 10 points here. I've summarized the entire NEP 2020 in these 10 points, 10 or 11. It is complete holistic education and personality development. It's holistic education. It's not just agriculture. It is not just veterinary. It's not just horticulture. As in the morning we were told, you're going to be taught, you're going to be knowing everything that is needed for you when you go out into the real life situation. So it's holistic, most important point. And you'll be a better person when you leave this institution at whatever level, after degree or MSc or PhD. You are going to be a transformed person. Then it is multilingual. You know, India is full of different languages. So now education almost everywhere, it's just English, mandatorily almost. It can be converted to local language. There'll be there'll be entrance exam at the national level, but the UG entrance is based on local language. So language is also considered. Language diversity is part of the ecosystem of this. And institutional excellence. This institution or every other institution which implements this policy can be a world #1. You can compete with the world. No policy will hinder you from doing that. I'll tell you a little bit later. So the target is world excellence. Then patriotic. It makes you a good individual of the nation. You have to know the Constitution and see your duties towards the Constitution. So it teaches you patriotism as you learn your degree programs. Has more experiential learning than theory. Theory will be there, but more experiential in the same order. Not theory and practicals, it's practicals and theory. In a different, more emphasis on practicals is going to be there. I'll tell you how shortly. Builds responsible citizens of the nation. Concerns, there's a lot of concerns for social constraints. Some of you may get married while you're in college or during a MSc or your PhD, and you may want to, or you may have to discontinue your studies for a short period of time. There's a provision for that. You can exit the course and come back after 10 months, 12 months, no restrictions, open-ended. Now there is a restriction of 5 years, right? For MSc, 5 years, and PhD, I think 10 years. You have to finish your degree. Otherwise, your admission is gone. Those restrictions are going to be removed. So there's a lot of flexibility considering the social constraints or considerations. Then international ramifications. This institution or every institution is going to be international. All the restrictions imposed by the ICAR on international associations are going to be removed. So you can directly correspond with anybody in any university and build up collaborations. Of course, autonomy. You can aim for autonomy, complete autonomy from institutions. This is excerpts from the book I saw in the morning. Dr. MENSINKAI had seen this earlier. I just typed the whole thing thinking that you will not be able to read it. Education is not just a degree or a roll of paper you give on a convocation. A student must be mentally mature, mentally, physically, socially, and economically. See, Dr. MENSINKAI had written about it long time ago. That's what new education policy is saying. Holistic development of an individual. Complete. And face life with conviction, confidence, and courage, and care. So there's a lot of social aspects involved in the person completing the degree. So it's not just a piece of paper that you get. You get wholesome education and personality development in this new education policy when it's implemented. Oh, there's a mistake in learning spelling. There's a difference between teaching, learning, and molding. This new education policy believes in molding an individual, shaping an individual. Okay? Usually teaching is giving out information or sharing knowledge and expecting it to convert to wisdom. Do you know the difference between information, knowledge, and wisdom? I'll give you a small example. A newly married girl went to her mother-in-law's place and started, her first week of cooking and all that. She wanted to impress the mother-in-law, and she made fruit salad. And she was actually a botany student. She had studied botany and got 100 marks in botany. So in that fruit salad, she had put tomato also. Tomato. Then mother-in-law saw it, husband saw it, everybody saw it, and ate it. Of course, they didn't complain. And later the husband questioned when they were alone, what happened to the fruit salad? There was tomato inside. Nobody puts tomato in the fruit salad. But the lady says, no, in botany I had learned that it's a fruit. Can you put fruit salad in tomato in a fruit salad? Yes or no? So that is difference between knowledge and wisdom. Wisdom is also, you can also say wisdom like when you start arguing with a friend and your friend says, just an extreme example, your friend says that the earth is flat. Earth is flat and you say it is round. Both of you have not gone to the end of the world to see it. You have just read in the books and papers. Then what do? If you say world is round, you just ask him, can you give me reference, where you read it, who told you? To ask something like that. Ask a question. If the person gives a reference, good. If he doesn't give a reference, don't start a fight with him. Be wise and say, please don't walk too far, you may fall down. So generate wisdom in every aspect and everything you do. So some teacher may just give you information and go out of the class. Some teacher may explain it and give you the reason behind this or that and why not this or that. Some person may give you wisdom or integration of different chapters within a course or across courses. Why is it like this? Why is genetics like this? When you apply more fertilizers, does the genetics change? Phenotype may change, but not the genotype. Things like that. Integration with agronomy and genetics. There is a need for less teaching than more learning. See, a teacher should always be able to learn continuously. Every day is a learning experience. Every class is a learning. So teacher is an avid learner. Then he can teach even better. Then there's a need to ask questions. The more stupid, the better. How many of you have ability to ask questions in the class? Do you ask questions in the class or not? Let's see, raise your hand. Ability to ask questions is diminishing, right? Professors? They don't ask much questions. And in fact, you should reward students for asking questions, and more stupid, more marks. Is it possible? If you don't ask questions, you will not seek clarifications, and you will not understand it better. So asking question is an art. Actually, you should be able to ask a question without hurting the person who you're asking. And you should never ask a question if you know the answer. It's like challenging a person. Oh, do you know this? I know this. Do you know this? So that's not a right thing. So art of asking question without hurting the recipient. Cultivate that question, that art. And this should be perfected by the time you finish your undergraduate. In MSc, you must ask questions. And PhD, you should never finish without asking questions. A PhD teacher should be troubled like anything. He should, for having taught PhD, the teacher should be a better person by the end of the course. Together, all of you are better. So it's not just you're punishing a teacher, you're punishing each other, so that, you know, only when you hit a stone, it will become a monument. If you don't hit a stone, it will just be like a uncarved stone. So every day is carving. And actually, when a student passes second PUC and comes for a degree, he or she is very raw. Is like a clay. It is up to the teacher to mold that person to a shape that is admirable. And the better the mold, the better the outcome. And not just one teacher, a series of teachers over the 4 years mold a student. You know, many teachers scold you for something or appreciate you. It's all for the good. So if you get scolding, don't worry. It is for the better. This new education policy is multidisciplinary. That's the key feature of this most important feature. In future, there will be no only agriculture, only veterinary, only horticulture, only this, only that. Every institution will compulsorily have to have all these. If not engineering, you can't have an engineering college integrated into this, but the engineering department of agriculture college can have active collaboration with the nearest engineering college, because agriculture need engineering, machinery, farmers need machines. So you can't have engineering professor and all that. Collaborate. Wherever you can't associate, you collaborate with it. All these. In fact, when we did agriculture, we had the practicals in psychology. How many of you remember, sir? You had practical psychology? Sociology, English, zoology, physics. I remember, and of course veterinary. I still remember the bones of a cow, femur, tibia, tarsus, and the electron microscopy. We had electron microscopy. Physics department used to offer it. Amazing. I still remember shadow casting is a method of staining tissue to see under electron microscope. See the breadth of your knowledge. That is diminished now. Now there's no basic science. Everything is gone. But it is coming back. It is coming back with renewed vigor. Compulsorily, sociology education should come in. Commerce education will come in. It can be 1 or 2 courses. See, it's just one course in veterinary. I still remember it so well. Physics, one course. By the end of your PUC, your mind will be so receptive that whatever you are interested to learn just seeps in and stays there. So more you are challenged, better it is. So take respect and exercises the most severe influence on students. You know, across your departments, I know at least 25 people, scientists, who are either national excellence or world excellence. They are best in the country or best in the world. And these teachers command more respect from students, and students go after them for masters or doctoral or something. They are hounded. I want this guide, I want him as guide, I want this, I want that. So a teacher can empower himself to be so strong that he attracts students to his line of thinking and area of research. Then it's our conviction. You can read the second one. That means shaping a student during the degree is an art of teaching. So when a teacher is appointed, like assistant professor, associate professor, or whatever cadre, instructor, whatever, you're not just delivering a subject. You're molding a student. And a series of professors mold the student in a particular way. And sometimes students start liking a subject or disliking a subject based on the teacher. You have experienced that, right? It's possible. Some people don't go to some departments because the teacher is not good. What does the department student has to, teacher has to do with the subject? But the student did not like the teacher, then he did not like the subject. He did not have time to think. So he just said, I don't want to go to genetics. I don't want to go to sociology, whatever. So a teacher's job is to mold the student in a particular way. And this new education policy is giving more responsibility on the teachers to do that in addition to teaching. Teaching is just not enough in this new policy. Then this new education policy calls for internationalization of agriculture education or whichever stream it is. You know, we have international students already. In this campus, there are many, I saw. They come for studies. But it is also important that University of Agriculture Sciences, Dharwad, goes to other countries. Why not open an offshore campus in Sri Lanka? Why not open in Bhutan or Nepal or UAE, Middle East? Wherever we have friendly relations as a country, we can open offshore campuses. It is just bilateral agreements, and then one professor can go there and one professor from there can come here and spend some time. It's like sabbatical, international sabbatical. And then when professor goes, one or two students can pursue their coursework there. So whatever courses you do in that university is counted as done in this university. And whatever marks is there given by them is counted for degree here. My students went to IRI, and whatever seminars they gave there was counted as seminars were given at Bangalore. We have done it already. So you can have active exchange between institutions and have a credit bank. This new education policy gives provision for that. The courses done there can be considered as courses done here for your degree. Then you see, all this is about teaching staff. What about non-teaching staff? Where is the innovation in the controller's office? Where is the innovation in the registrar's office or other supporting offices? They also need to learn new things and do things in a better way. Why not enhance their learning experience also? You know, Indian Institute of Science also passes bills. They also buy things. They also give salary. So why not send our staff to these institutions and see how they do their job? So why not have institutional exchanges for non-teaching staff also, so that they grow professionally? So university means teaching and non-teaching staff both together. Only one cannot progress and other is left behind. So we need to do a holistic approach for non-teaching staff and administrators also. How a dean does his job in that university. Maybe you don't have to replace the dean. Go and attend their meetings there 1 week or 15 days, then learn from that. So it's active learning, and new education policy provides for all that. This is a commonly told thing: think global, act local. That means whatever technology is developed across the world, you try to apply it in your lab or in your crop or in your varieties. That's one standard way. But to become a global leader, you have to think local and act global. That is, what is it that is special in my region, my area, my germplasm, my farmers, that can be scaled up or given out to the world for use either directly or through patent. For example, I worked on drought resistance for my entire lifetime. So it was 15 years of my most productive part. That is first part. Second part I did micronutrient biofortification. When I was studying drought resistance, there was a lot of literature, a lot of things about 40 traits linked to drought resistance. And I had got a lot of funding from Rockefeller Foundation USA, 52 crores for drought resistance only. So I did a lot of thinking and completely confused. But later I thought, through my logical thinking, that the main and the most important trait that contributes to drought resistance is the root system. When I get thirsty, I go in search of water. There is water there, I walk till there and get it. When a plant gets thirsty, it cannot walk. So I started thinking, what does it do? But to get water, it has to do something, otherwise it will die. No plant wants to die. So what the local varieties used to do, our local varieties, Kari Doddi, Kesru Doddi, Devmaliga, Doddiga, whatever, there are hundreds of local varieties. They had extremely deep root system. The root system of local varieties of rice is 2 meters, 200 centimeters. Can you imagine? Local varieties of rice. Improved varieties of rice like IR64, Sona Masuri, etc., have only 30 or 35 centimeters. Only this much. Local varieties, same duration, no extra. So that is local knowledge. So all the local, during my PhD, I had studied all the local varieties and all the root system of local varieties and improved varieties, IR64, etc. Glaringly different root system was there. Then I got the secret. Secret for drought resistance is root system of local varieties. So I did crossing, did selection, innovative selection and all that, and within 5 years the variety was ready. I developed a most drought-resistant rice variety in the country and published it internationally, and IRRI came to know about it because it was a collaborative project. They had evaluated and certified that my variety is drought resistant. Then they wrote a project for the next 3 years to find out why my varieties were drought resistant. I told them, yes, it is root system. I told them that I put in root system because I knew what I put in. They said, which genes did you put? I said, I didn't put any genes. I put root system, deep root system. I showed them also with data. Then they wrote a project to ask for seeds. I couldn't get send seeds to Philippines. So they sent a student to Hyderabad. And after 1 year of research in ICRISAT, they agreed to my finding. They said, yes, root systems have contributed to drought resistance in varieties. So that's local knowledge going global. You might have some traits like that. I know Nandini had zinc, some line with zinc, Dotiga. Dotiga had high zinc. She was here in the morning, 34 ppm. Like that. There's something in your germplasm which nobody knows, nobody has. Make use of that. Your Maldandi local, M35, is the tastiest sorghum variety. There is something that is in you that can go global. Yes, the sorghum rotis that are made, can they be exported? Are they exported? Are they exported, sir, or not? Yeah, they're sent to, they're so dry and the keeping quality is good. You can export them and convert them into more revenue for the farmers. So local can become global that way. No country, no single country has this much diversity like we have. Every 100 kilometers you go, there's a change in language, there's a change in food, there's a change in accent. So which country has it? Every country is so small. Our country is so tall. Tall in the sense, it occupies several latitudes. That changes the weather. From Kashmir to Kanyakumari, there's tropical to temperate. There's ice there and there's sunlight here. People are fair there, people are dark here. So that's the diversity we have. Make best use of it. One of the other best or innovative things about NEP is, NEP envisages National Entrance Test in local language, one entry, multiple exit and re-entry. That means a person who joins for BSc Agriculture can exit the degree after 2 semesters. He says, enough, I don't want to continue. Then he gets a certificate, valid, professionally valid certificate, that he has done this much of study. If he wishes to continue 2 more semesters, he gets a diploma. So 4 semesters, you get a diploma. And maybe he has a finance constraints, or maybe he cannot continue, whatever. But if he wants to come back, he can come back and continue later. 4 semesters, drop out, come back after 2 years and complete the other 4 semesters. See the flexibility built into the system. It's amazing. It's sociologically relevant to our conditions. Say somebody gets married after 4 semesters. Then you come back, very attractive boy comes, you can't say no. Then college also will not say no, go ahead. Get married, come back after 2 years, continue. Then if you do your degree for 4 years, you get a BTech or BSc aggregated degree. So these are the exit points and re-entry points. To manage all this, it's so complicated, you know. To manage all this, a software is must. The university, I wish, develops a software where, like, you know, bus ticket or railway ticket, you can book your courses and then complete it whenever you can and come back. You say, I'll drop out now, I'll come back later. No individual caseworker can handle all this. And the best part is, next slide you'll see, the strength of colleges is supposed to be 3,000. It is specifically mentioned, NEP says, there should be 3,000 students in a college. I could not know if it is per degree program, per year. If it is per year, 3,000 into 4, 12,000 students will be on campus at any given time. After 4 years, 12,000 students. How will you manage 12,000 students? unless there is a software which does the job seamlessly. So actually, NEP was supposed to have started in 2022, academic year. But everything has been delayed. I hope it starts in 2023, because the whole timetable has been fixed. By 2025, the entry and exit things should start, second line. That process will start by 2025. To do that, you need at least 1 or 2 years before to keep the house in order. How do we send students out? What is it that they learn in 2 years or 1 year that is useful to the society? What do they do after doing 2 semesters? So you should have more practicals than theory. So first 2 years, you should pack a lot of practical knowledge. Parallelly, you can't neglect theory. So a lot of thinking has to be done at the academic level, board of studies, and a lot of things have to be done. It's a big work. I hope the institution realizes it. And USD is not alone. Every university is facing the same situation. Probably, like in the morning we were told, the ICR will itself come with some way forward. Maybe it's happening there. They will tell what it should be done. But assuming that they're doing, we should not keep quiet. You should know that ICR is doing it. Do you know, sir? Are you following? Is it happening? Okay. So hope the guidelines come by 2023, well before admission, and things fall in place. There's a possibility of bank of credits, as I told in short while ago. Then this is another more important aspect. The NEP says employability of agriculture graduates is only 20%. There's only 20% of the graduates get jobs that they like or they are comfortable with. 80% don't get the job. This is not a very good situation. This needs correction. So what we need to be doing right now is combine entrepreneurship with education. As they are in the college itself, we need to teach entrepreneurship. And entrepreneurship is something that cannot be taught in theory. You cannot teach. It's like cooking theory. It's like teaching cooking in theory. You can't do that. You have to do practicals. You have to stove, you have to burn it, you have to spoil some food. So it's something that has to be done by practicals. So to do practical entrepreneurship development program, the faculty needs to be trained. And faculty cannot train unless you do it. So one suggestion I have for the university is faculty should be empowered to become entrepreneurs while they are on the job. I know entrepreneurship. I have run a company for 3 years now. First company 3 years, second company 1 year. I know how it all functions. To become an entrepreneur is very simple. You just need to fill up a form and they'll give you a DSC. It's like a pen drive. That is your digital signature. DSC means digital signature. Once you get a DSC, you are eligible to become a director of a company. So gradually, faculty members, most innovative faculty members can start becoming entrepreneurs. Start a small company. Do something. And don't lose too much money. Put some money, do something, and get to know the bookkeeping, and then teach students. So that at least 40% of the students can become entrepreneurs by the time they leave the college. And many of the products, like we have people from biotechnology department and genetics department. Can you tell me how many of you buy enzymes and markers and DNA ladder from companies, other companies? Can you raise your hand? DNA ladder? DNA markers? Raise your hand for others to see. Students? MSc? Ella UG, yeah, PG students from biotech or genetics, do you buy enzymes? Okay. How difficult is it to make an enzyme in the lab? Taq polymerase? Huh? Yeah, see? So now there's an opportunity, entrepreneurship opportunity for you itself. So university can, the policy, Dean and Board of Regents can agree, put a proposal and say, we will buy DNA tag polymerase from our own faculty member who is manufacturing on campus at a most competitive rate. If the cost is 5,000 rupees for something, you can sell it at 3,000 rupees. Give 500 rupees to the company for the university for having provided the space. So that's incubation center already. Now you are a director of a company, you have practiced incubation, now you are practicing bookkeeping. And part of the money will go to the students involved in making that enzyme. See how many people are benefited. And now you're nurturing entrepreneurship in a very comfortable atmosphere because the seller is ready. University itself is a seller. Then you just bill it and pay it, and everything is official. There's no cheating. The university knows about it. Can it be done? Raise your hand, sir. Can you tell loudly that it's possible for others? Stand up and tell, Patil. Okay. It's I just told you one example, that's all, tag polymerase. DNA ladder. Fudge, just digest it and then you get a ladder. Then what are the other things that can be made? Yes. The primers. Primers, correct. Primers you can make. Oligos you can make. See? Now you have lakhs of, all this works to lakhs of rupees, right? Lakhs of rupees. If you had a mic, I would have given you. So now you see, there's an opportunity to nurture 40% of your students in your own safe environment. Even if you lose a little money, at least they're safe in losing money. They're not losing their livelihood. They learned something by losing 1,000 rupees, 2,000 rupees. Even in fact, you can make a student a director by giving a DSC number. So entrepreneurship development is not theory. Entrepreneurship development is practicals. It's like learning to swim. You cannot learn to swim using a book or a YouTube. You have to dive into the water. So this is diving for entrepreneurship. Can be done? Okay, the policy makers, we have some key officers here. Please see if it is possible. These are all small tinkering that can be done now to be ready for the future. No, nobody is going to ask you anything because you're all internal and official. No hiding. And last part, financial literacy. Many people, even including me, we don't know how to handle money. Just give, if I give you 10 lakh rupees to each one of you, just I give you 10 lakh rupees, or just 1 lakh rupees, and after 1 week I'll come and ask each one of you what you did with that. How many of, not 1 week, 1 year, how many of people who would have made it 1.5 lakh, how many would have lost everything, and how many would have lost half of it? Is there not, there's a lot of difference, right? Not many people, even at our age, know how to handle money, let alone the youngsters. Youngsters will not know how to handle money because they don't have that kind of money to handle. Suppose you need to do in lakhs. Just imagine, I have got a project for entrepreneurship training, if the university is interested. I'm giving this project to engineering colleges. In fact, they have taken this project. It's called a 1,000 rupee project. Every engineering student, when he or she enters the college, gives 1,000 rupees to a particular entity. I'm going to tell you that. It's an entity of students only. So let us say it's 10 lakh rupees. Matching grant is given by one other organization. So now 20 lakh. This 20 lakh is managed by the students' team. There'll be a president, secretary, and a treasurer. They have to manage that and invest it and earn money. So now, Taq polymerase enzyme making, you need some raw material. You don't take raw material from the project or from the university. You take it from this 20 lakh grant. So now, you're not cheating the university, you're not cheating any project. You're taking a loan from students itself. Then you're earning and giving back to students. So now it's like a venture capitalist, training people how to invest. Now, if there are 10 projects like this, the students will learn which projects will give them more money compared to others. Now they're learning investment. They're learning how to make money out of their money. And this president, secretary, treasurer can change after 1 year. So now different people learn. And then next batch also invest 1,000 rupees. So every year, there's 20 lakh rupees of corpus fund for students to learn. At the end of 4 years, they can option to take it back or continue in that way of investing. So lifelong, it's an investment for life. Now, a gross enrollment ratio, there's a concept of GER in NEP, gross enrollment ratio. And they say 3,000 students must be there. I don't know how they said 3,000, but it repeatedly keeps telling 3,000. So 3,000 into 4, for 4 years, it's 12,000 students on campus. And they say mandatorily 10% increase every year. So next year it's 3,030, 300. Yeah, 3,300. Next is 3,330. So every year you are increasing the strength. So one way it is good because higher education is very limited in the country. So they want to make more people do postgraduate and learning. So just imagine, what is in UG strength now in first year? 300. Wow. From 300, next year you're going to go to at least 600 or 700. Because the national level entrance exam will happen, and maybe they'll give you 3,000 students. Who knows? Considering the stature of this university and the nice connects you have at the national level and international level, you never know. Next year you may have 3,000 students. Be ready for that. So how will you manage 3,000 students? The next question I have for the management here. People are staying in hostels. How do they pay the hostel bill, mess bill? Dividing, okay. How do they actually pay it? How do they make a payment? Bank, chalan? Online or chalan? Online. Why don't you have a QR code? You can do a QR code. Even vegetable sellers in the city have QR codes. No? You're seeing no in the city? So I wish the warden has a QR code to his account. And students can pay their mess bill sitting in their home or room. Or their parents can pay their mess bill of the students. Possible? How many students like it, like the idea? Please raise your hand. Please see the back. One side, ninta nodbudi. Nintukondu nodi, sir. Oppa. ಒಬ್ಬ ಎರಡು ಕೈ ಎತ್ತುತ್ತಿದ್ದಾನೆ ಯಾಕೋ ಎರಡು ಸಾರಿ ಊಟ ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ ಅನ್ಸುತ್ತೆ ಅವನು. So this is just mess bill. Why not tuition fees, semester fees through QR code? To start, but it's possible. Semester fees through a QR code. Raise your hand, sir. Please see. So they're assuring me by next semester your fees will be based on QR code, right? Actually, it's actually very simple. You just have to buy a mobile dedicated to the warden or the dean, the account, and link that to the phone pay. Bank permission bekagilla. Bank, which bank are you dealing with? SBI. I deal with Canara Bank. These are straight-jacketed banks. They're not very innovative. They are still in old zamana. They won't change because there is no hunger in these banks. ICICI, I'm not recommending ICICI. The private banks have more hunger. They want to grow. They want to show their profitability. These are government. It's like KSRTC bus compared to VRL or SRS. Correct? Which bus has more dynamism and which bus has more luggage on top and bottom and everywhere? VRL. Why do they have luggage on the top and bottom everywhere? They earn more by luggage than the people. They don't care if all the seats are vacant. They earn more by luggage. For luggage, they charge, I think, 4 rupees per kg, 4 or 5 rupees. For a human being, you know how much they charge per kg? From Bangalore to Dharwad, per kg, how much? I think I paid 700 divided by 400 kilometers, 420 kilometers, 400 2 rupees. I paid 2 rupees per kg to come here, assuming I'm 75 kgs. So divide by kg, it's very cheap. It's cheaper for me to come than the luggage. So what I'm trying to say is, the bank may not have the system ready for you, but you can have phone pay and other systems. You just have to buy it, and it comes with a QR code, that's all. So give the QR code to the students, and then money comes and deposits, finished. Okay? Try that, please. This is the very, very most important point. This is for the administration. There's one very strong statement in NEP which says, no key officer's position shall be vacant even for a single day or something like that. Shall. They've used the word shall. So, and recruitment should not be on, please read it, you'll come to understand that. So, one suggestion I have for this is, see, I'm a Rotarian. How many of you know about Rotary? Raise your hand. Have you heard about Rotary? Okay. Are you Rotarians? No. Okay. Rotary is an international organization for service, and we have 4-star rating. So money is perfect, no hanky-panky. We are very clean about auditing, etc., etc. Everything is nice. So in Rotary, president changes every year, compulsorily, all over the world. So the concept is, the president is nominated or elected. That, leave it aside. But the beauty is, the president of next year is known already to me in my club. The president of next to next year is already known. So there is a lineage built in. This is secretary. I know who is the next secretary, who is the next treasurer, who is the next DG. We call them DG, DGN, DG. Some alphabets are given to the DG. DGE means DG elect. DGN means DG after DG. So 3 DGs are in waiting already. So why not universities adopt that? And suppose a vice chancellor post is getting vacant. Why not recruit vice chancellor 6 months before, start the process? When 3 months before, the new vice chancellor should be ready. And the old and the new should sit together, combine, and then for 3 months they can work together. Is it possible? So we need to innovate and do some homework within the university to make things happen. This can apply to deans also, HODs also. It can apply to retiring scientists also. Suppose, I did a lot of work on drought resistance and micronutrient biofortification. I was considered a national expert on roots and drought. The sad thing is, in GKVK, nobody continued my work. Am I right? People know me, know my work and know me. Nobody continued my work. Who lost in the process? Tell me. Did I lose? I didn't lose anything. I came out university clean-handed, not a single objection. Pension settled immediately. That was the most tension part. Pension was a tension because I handled so many projects. So by a lot of equipment and a lot of things, I was worrying. I must have lost some equipment and I don't know what will happen. But things settled down. So, but nobody continued my work. If only somebody, university had recognized my expertise, my line of thinking and my work, and nominated one junior scientist to overlap with me for 1 year. It takes 1 year to learn some science. It's not like Vice Chancellor post, it's science. So 1 year somebody overlaps. So I tell all my collaborators internationally and nationally that this is the person who is going to continue my work. Please correspond with him, and then everything is fine. Wouldn't it be nice? How many of you think it's a good idea? Please try. So you must have observed by now, for every policy provision in NEP, I'm giving you a possibility. I'm giving a statement and an action point possible that can be implemented without any hassle. Thank you very much. Thank you for the opportunity. And I enjoyed talking to you. Thank you.
So far we listened about the new education policy. So he divided the new education policy into 10 different points, and each one was elaborated. And in every aspect, he contributed his innovativeness to those ideas, how we can make it practical, and how overall the system efficiency can be enhanced. So that is why I always call Dr. H.E. Sasidhar as a lifetime innovator. Anything he touches, he will add his innovativeness. And he brings the global innovativeness into local and what you call Desi innovativeness into the global aspect. That is his specialty. I thank profusely on behalf of SW MENSINKAI Foundation and on behalf of all my staff and students to Dr. H.E. Sasidhar for coming over here. So in spite of COVID and all those things, no, nothing doing, I will come. That is the enthusiasm, you see. This is the enthusiasm he has all the time. And came over here and spent a fruitful time and enlightening us with the new education policy. For the first time, I had read, I think many of you have read here and there, but now a complete idea, a wholesome idea on new education policy, I think I have got, and I think all of you must have got. So this is the advantage that was the need of the hour, because the Karnataka government has already adopted this new education policy. It is in vogue that we have to implement. And definitely, sir, we are going to follow all these guidelines for this thing. Now, on behalf of SW MENSINKAI, on behalf of all of you, I would like to felicitate Dr. H.E. Sasidhar, sir. Questions? After felicitations, sir. So we'll have a brief question and answer session. If you have any doubts, if you have any questions, please ask. That should be restricted to the new education policy. Okay? Please, students, and also faculty. Any doubts, if you have, you ask, please. I think, sir, they have a lot of doubts, unable to extract concise the questions. Because this is the, I think, the first time they have been exposed to the new education policies. You ask any doubts? What is that? Mike, yeah. No. In your hostel now, there is a snack is arranged, you know. At 4:30, there is a snacks at your hostel. Can enjoy. About questions, please ask questions. On behalf of SW MENSINKAI, we have served the sweet along with your lunch at your hostel, in all the hostels. Must have released. Okay, no questions? Sir, I have one question. The multiple entry and multiple exit system. This, whether will it be clear or whether is it going to create a mess, that's my doubt. Here, you know, whatever it may be, I will complete in a particular fixed number of years I'm going to complete a degree. Because, you know, the Indian mentality, if there is no deadline, we never finish. We'll go on postponing everything. Even we postpone our marriages also endlessly. There is no deadline. So under these circumstances, how it would impact in future? That's the one. 11.
You know, Government of India has made a provision or a rule that every fertilizer shop, every chemical shop owner should have a diploma. Is it right?
Yes, sir.
Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So diploma is in lot of demand because of that. Okay. Then second point, there are many private sector companies like Monsanto, Myco, etc., Rasi. Many of them need people who are trained only for 2 or 4 semesters. There's a need for that kind of force. They will teach the rest. They know what else to take, extract work from, proportionately paid for that. So if that market is ready and willing to absorb, there'll be a demand for exiting at 2 semesters or 4 semesters. So it's market driven. Suppose there are a lot of employment opportunities are announced that they want 1,000 fourth semester boys for employment. So now people will leave and go. So it's, you know, do you have diploma colleges here?
Yes, yes.
So now,
we have maximum diploma colleges compared to all the...
Okay. Now what will happen is they will get integrated into, that system of education will get integrated into this degree program, that's all. The normal
session, I once again thank our chief guest of Dr. H.E. Sasdar for delivering a beautiful lecture on new education policy. And I also thank all the UG and PG students who have come over here and listened to this lecture. Definitely, this is going to benefit you, and there will be a lot of ideas will be sparked in due course of time, because this is a skill India now. The India is going to be a skill India. So in that plan, the new education policy has been framed, and this is going to implement shortly, and we will become a part of all this. I also thank the SW MENSINKAI members and HODs and staff who have come here and spent a valuable time with this. Such type of lectures are going to enlighten us the latest things that's happening. The state government has already implemented, but we are just not aware of anything about the new education policy. That's why the entire this Foundation Day lecture was focused on new education policy. In fact, we wanted to organize a conference on this. Yeah, they organize a conference on this because of COVID and other things, and because of many other reasons, we try to avoid that and concise to the 1 day, 2 sessions program. And I once again thank you all. And you know the SW MENSINKAI Foundation. This is the man who is responsible for bringing this university at this level. You remember all this. And I appeal all the students to become a member of this, even now, as well as after completing your graduation, and also this thing, be associated with this. And there is a very limited amount of funds in this association. We cannot spend lavishly like any other university functions. So we have a very, if you become a member, then it will grow. You have to contribute, and there are so many students, past students, they are also contributing, and it is growing. I once again thank all of you, and the session closes here. Thank you one and all.